The question name is spiral matrix second. To understand this question very easily, you have to just go through first spiral matrix 1. I have solved this question also. So that question also. The question is given a positive integer n, generate an n cross n matrix filled with elements from 1 to n square in spiral order. The interesting thing is question is we have to store the elements in spiral order. Spiral order, what is spiral order? Spiral order is just we have to go in this manner. Okay, first this, then this, then this, then this, then this. And what you have to do, we have to store the elements in a matrix which is a n cross n. Like if n is 3, we have to generate a 3 cross 3 matrix where the value of the value of the numbers are from 1 to n square, means 1 to, in this case, from 1 to 9. And what we have to do, we have to store the elements in the spiral order. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have gone in this direction. Now 4, the order is 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have to go now in this direction. 4, 5. Now column are also, the row are also 3. Okay, now go in this direction. 6, 7. Now column are 3, go in this direction. 8. Here row are 3, go in this direction. 9. So we have stored successfully. We have gone in this direction first, then in this direction, then in this direction, then in this direction. So we will easily solve this question. We will take 4 variables like row 1. This is the upper row is row 1, the lower row is row 2, this is column 1, and this is column 2. We'll take 4 variables. First is row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2, and 1 is value. Okay, so row 1 is this row, and row 2 is last row. Last row is n minus 1, and row column 1 is this column, 0th column, column 2 is last column, and value is 0. And to store the answer, we have taken in V. Now, until when we will stop? We will stop when this row, this R1 is greater than this R2, or this column C1 is greater than this column C2. So until this is true, we will continue to run. So first in which direction we will go? We will go in this direction. To go in this direction, we are moving from column 1 to column 2. Column 1 to column 2. And we are storing the value. Now what we are doing? We are going in first in this direction. So the endpoints of this directions are column 1. This is column 1. And this is column 2. This is column 2. So we'll store the elements. Okay, now we have to go in this direction, but this row we have filled, this row we have filled, this is R1. To fill the elements in this direction, we have to first increase the row. From this loop, we have to increase the row. We have to go in next row. So we will say R1 plus plus. We will say R1 plus plus. And the endpoints of this direction are from R1 plus 1 to, or R1 to R2. R1 to R2. So what we are doing? We are simply storing the elements from C1 to C2, value plus plus, and then we are saying R1 plus 1 to R2, value plus plus. Now, if we will check again, if R1 is less than R2 and C1 is less than C2, then we will move in this direction, and in this direction. We will move to left, and we will move to up. Okay. So this to move. Now we have stored now what we have done, we have stored this column, now we have stored this column. Now what we have to do, we have to reduce the column, we have to reduce C2, okay, we have to reduce C2. So what we are saying, from C2 minus 1 to C1, we are going from C2 minus 1 to C1, and we are storing the value. Similarly, we are going from now We have now what we are doing, we have stored this row, we have stored this row, we have stored this row. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to minus the r2. We are going from, we are going to previous row, we have to minus r2 by minus 1. Okay, so we are going from this r2 to r1, r2 to r1. Actually we have taken the, we have taken the effect of this row in this value. Which value? In this value we have increased the r1. So we don't have to, we don't have to take care of this r2. So we are simply saying from r2 to r1. When r1 is, then I, when I is greater than r1, we have to just store the value. Like what I am saying, when I is greater than r1, because I have taken the effect of this row in r1, r1 plus 1, so I don't have to reduce it again. At last, in after this loop, what we have to do, we have to just simply r1 plus 1, this row plus 1, this column, this row we have to minus 1, and this column c1 is plus 1 and c2 is minus 1. According to the direction, we have to reduce or we have to increase or increment or decrement the row and column. You can run the code. You can submit. So it is submitting successfully.